Hey guys, workers' comp injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and I was thinking about it. I shot a video for you earlier today when I was under my building before I left for the day, and it occurred to me there's one other question I get a lot, and it's funny because I get it a lot from people who work for crummy, like factory jobs that don't respect the employee, and then I also get it from people who work at surprisingly good companies. And so it surprises me that they worry about it. Maybe they worry about it for different reasons. Like if you work for a really good company, you're really afraid to lose the job, or if you work for a really crummy company, you're afraid, or you know what they do to people. They just chew them up and spit them out, right? So, but anyway, the question a lot of people have for me is, if I file workers' comp, can they fire me, right? And obviously, that's a serious question. I understand why people would be worried about that. It is actually against federal law for a company to fire you for filing workers' comp. So they're not allowed to do that. They really, looks like my camera's crooked here. Ugh. I think it's crooked the other way now, but I'm going to leave it alone. It's called retaliatory discharge, and over the course of the years, I've referred some people to attorneys who do retaliatory discharge, and I've done a little bit of work on some of them as well. So, I mean, if you've been fired because you filed a workers' comp claim, um, you know, give me a call or talk to a lawyer because it's against the law. But here's the wrinkle, and most workers' comp lawyers will not tell you this because they're afraid if they tell you this that you won't file a workers' comp claim and then they won't get a fee. But this is really the truth. Who controls your employment file? Do you control it, or does somebody in the HR department control it? When your boss is checking to see if everybody showed up on time, does your boss keep the paperwork, or do you keep the paperwork? Um, you can probably see where I'm going with this. The bottom line is, it is really true. I mean, Illinois is a at will state, employment at will. So they can fire you for any reason or no reason except for racism or retaliatory discharge or a couple of other things, right? But basically, they can let you go. If you're late once, they can fire you. The exception is if you work at a union place, the contract between the union and the employer means that there's probably like steps they have to take before they can fire somebody. But if you don't work at a union shop, what I've seen in the past is they can create paper. Like I represented this guy one time who had, I think it was like an ankle injury, and it was kind of a serious one. He needed a second surgery. He was out of work. And then they returned him to work light duty, and um, after about a month, they fired him. So he called me very upset, and I talked to him, and then I called the insurance company and said, "Hey, your employer." I called the workers' comp insurance, and I said, "Hey, the employer fired this guy. So what's going on?" And so they investigated it, called me back, and said, "Well, he's been late 6 times in the month that he's been working light duty." And so I called my client and he said, "No way, I'm never late. I get a ride with another guy and he wasn't written up for being late. So how could I be late?" The moral of the story is, I believe and he believes that what the company did was they created these late forms, that the supervisor signed. Oh, so, I met with so and so regarding his tardiness, and he acknowledged, and and then they put some excuses that my client allegedly said and signed it. They put it in his employment file, and the moral of the story, basically, I'm probably talking too much. He's a lawyer, he talks too much. What a shock. The moral of the story is, they will, if they really want to get rid of you, they are going to get rid of you one way or the other, right? So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to work at a company that you get hurt doing their work, and then they just launch you, and then they are willing to lie to get rid of you? Do you want to work for at a place like that? I mean, my answer would be no. Obviously, your circumstances may be different. You may really need the job, or your job market might be tight. But I'd way rather probably see you get a job somewhere where they treat you well. Now, the last thing I'll say about it is it almost never, this almost never comes up. So, I mean, I've handled thousands of workers' comp cases over my career so far, and people getting fired um, maybe 10, 15 times, it's even been an issue. So it's a rare occurrence, but it's things that when people get hurt at work, they worry about. So I figured I'd shoot a short video and give you the, the information on it. So hope that info helps. If I can be of assistance or you have any questions or if you have a comp claim that you need help on, definitely give me a call. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.